everybody. For those that don't know who I am, allow me to introduce myself. For those that already know who I am, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Jordan Phoenix, but y'all can just call me JP for short, and you are now watching/listening to JPWR. That's Jordan's Pro Wrestling Reviews. Now today, I'll be covering the latest episode of Monday Night Raw from January 23rd, 2023. And we got much to discuss, man. It was a pretty good show. It was the 30th anniversary of Raw. We had things from drama in the courtroom to botched mic audio and legends returning. So with that said, let me not ramble over this intro, man. We just gonna dive into the action. So let's ride. Alright, so we kicked the show off with Hall of Famers Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan. And as Hogan is trying to cut a promo, the audio is going in and out. So a guy actually ends up coming from the back mid-promo and handing him a new mic. And the crowd actually pops for that. But Hulk Hogan doesn't really discuss nothing. He just talks about how this is the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw and the history behind Monday Night Raw. And he basically just shouts out the Philadelphia Eagles and does his old "what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you" thing. And then he just leaves, and that's that. Jumping into one of the juicy segments of the night, and probably one of the greatest Raw segments of all time, we have the Tribal Court, with half of the Bloodline taking on Sami Zayn, as Sami Zayn defends himself in court. Paul Heyman shows his exhibits, and he calls Sami Zayn a betrayer and says that he's been working with Kevin Owens since day one. He accuses Sami Zayn of being guilty, to where eventually Roman Reigns snaps and sends Solo to attack. But who saves Sami Zayn of all people? Jey Uso. Jey Uso defends Sami Zayn and shows his own evidence of why he thinks Zayn is not guilty, because he says that Zayn has always come through for the Bloodline. And that was met with a massive pop. Roman Reigns eventually rethinks his decision, and he says he's not guilty for now, emphasis on for now. Roman tells Zayn to prove himself loyal on Raw and to not see him to the Royal Rumble. His final test will then take place at the Royal Rumble. First match of the night, and this is match of the night in my opinion. We got the Usos taking on Judgment Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And I forgot to add that the first hour of this Monday Night Raw was 1 hour free. Thank goodness. Now can we please get Raw back to 2 hours instead of 3, because I cannot sit through 3 hours of that show. Excuse me, I just had to rant about that. But during the match, Jimmy gets hurt in a kayfabe injury after a suicide dive, and Adam says that they have to forfeit the match. But who fills in of all people? Sami Zayn fills in, and that was also met with a massive pop. Sami Zayn is the most over guy in all of WWE right now. If they don't pull the ball with Cody, they got to do it with Sami. Anyways, Sami Zayn fills in, and Adam Pearce says he'll allow it due to the fact that it was Raw 30 and that he did it for the Judgment Day. The match goes on, and Rhea interferes, causing Dom to hit a 619 on Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn saves Jey Uso from the 619, and he was getting all the pops tonight. After that, Jey and Sami hit a 1D, and they get the win. And I gotta say, man, this was match of the night, man. This match was so good. I honestly thought that they were gonna pull the ball and have Judgment Day win the Raw Tag titles. I was like, maybe they'll have the Judgment Day win, and then cause even more tension between Roman Reigns and Sami. But no, they kept the titles on the Usos, man. So, congrats to them. Good match. 5 stars from me. On to the next. After that banger of a match, we have LA Knight. And I would do my LA Knight impression, but my impression of him is horrible. He basically comes down to the ring and cuts a promo on the Legends, saying that nobody will show up to confront him. But as we all know, never say never in the world of professional wrestling, because who confronts him of all people? The American Badass, The Undertaker. And I'm going to bleep that word out because I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. This is the PG channel, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, Undertaker shows up on his bike and all, and LA Knight leaves the ring. But as he's heading up the ramp, who comes out to confront him? Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt confronts LA Knight, and LA runs back to the ring, but he's met with The Undertaker. The Undertaker grabs him by the neck as if he's going to chokeslam him, but he actually throws him to Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt hits him with his sister Abigail. Taker then leaves the ring, but before that, he whispers something into Wyatt's ear and then makes his way out. And that's that, man. 10 out of 10. It's nice to see Undertaker back, and it's nice to see the American Badass getting it back. But I'm wondering what he whispered in Bray's ear. A lot of people are speculating. I don't think it's nothing major. I don't think it's going to lead to any storyline. As we all know, Bray and Taker do have some history. They had a match at WrestleMania years ago. But that's about it, man. I think a lot of people are just over-speculating it. But let's just see where that all goes. Maybe Undertaker will, help Bray Wyatt in the pitch black match. We'll just have to wait and see. Now we get to one of the disappointing segments of the night. We were supposed to get Becky Lynch versus Bayley in a steel cage match. But according to reports, that match was cut due to the Tribal Court segment going on longer than expected. But this was also met by a bunch of backlash from the fans and also the Bella twins, because we didn't get the match they just had Damage Control attack Becky Lynch, and that was that. And I can feel everybody's pain because the steel cage match was advertised. If you advertise a steel cage match, fans are gonna want to see a steel cage match. Don't just advertise it and then not go through with it. So that's that, man. I honestly wish they would have went through with the match, but things happen. The show must go on to the next. After that fiasco, we have D-Generation X, accompanied by Kurt Angle. But no Road Dogg, of course. I was hoping they had to do the thing where Triple H throws shots at AEW and Road Dogg, because I know he throws shots at the Acclaim and AEW and all that. But anyways, they cut a little segment just basically reminiscing. And who interrupts them? Imperium. Imperium come out, they interrupt Road Dogg before he can do his thing, and he calls them all degenerates. Triple H then says, I wish we had someone who could confront him. And who comes out? Seth Rollins. Then X-Pac says, I wish we had a team who could come to help Seth Rollins. And who comes out? The Street Profits. The Street Profits come out, and then Triple H also says, I wish we had someone who could call to action for all this. And then who comes out? Teddy Long. Holla, holla, holla. Teddy Long comes out, and he makes the match a tag team match. And I was honestly hoping that they'll do a little Easter egg and say, you'll go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker, since Undertaker was there tonight, just to tease it. But no, we didn't get that. And then they all discuss one more thing, is Triple H is like, we need someone to call the order in this match. And Kurt is trying to say he has a plan, but they keep saying wait. And then Kurt eventually takes his shirt off to reveal that he has a special guest referee shirt on up under it. So then everybody's like, well, I think we have everything set. So that basically leads up to a match with Seth Rollins and the Street Profits taking on the Imperium. Jumping into the match, we got Seth Rollins and the Street Profits taking on Imperium. But before that, we also had Jerry the King Lawler as guest commentator, so it's always nice to see Jerry back. But back to the match, Walter confronts Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle actually pushes him back at one point, and then the match goes on, and Rollins hits an angle slam on Walter, paying homage to the Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle was, he was enjoying himself tonight. The match goes on, and I also put in my notes that Seth Rollins and the Street Profits have great chemistry. If we ever had a trios division in the WWE, I wouldn't be mad if they were the trios champions, because Seth Rollins did his superplex into a Falcon Arrow, but instead of hitting the Falcon Arrow, he passed, I think it was Giovanni, he passed Giovanni to Angelo Dawkins, and Angelo lifted them up, letting Montez hit the blockbuster. And then as the match went on, they did the whole frog splash combination with the Street Profits leading into the stomp, and they got the win. Seth Rollins and the Street Profits get the win. It was a nice little win, to celebrate tonight with Raw, the 30th anniversary. They wanted the fans to go home happy. This is a pretty good match, man. Shout out to everybody involved. On to the next once again. After another banger of a match, we have Charlotte Flair accompanied by her father, Ric Flair, as he introduces her. Charlotte makes her way to the ring, and she talks about how the women's evolution started on Monday Night Raw. She also discusses the women that she's been up against since then. And then after that, Bianca Belair comes out, and she says that she respects Charlotte, but she lets her know that this is her show. Monday Night Raw is all hers. Sonya Deville then interrupts, and she takes shots at Rick and Bianca. And Charlotte eventually tells Bianca, she asks her, she's like, well, since this is your show, why don't you handle Sonya for me? To which Bianca agrees. They have a match, and that's that. I'm not going to discuss it because, it was just that. Not saying it was bad, not saying it was boring, but, it was decent. Not really anything I want to discuss from it, though. So on to the next once again. After the match, Bianca cuts a promo on Alexa Bliss, and she basically says she doesn't care if she has to go up against Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt, or whoever. Nothing will stop her from remaining your Raw Women's Champion. Alexa Bliss then appears on the Titantron, and she's cutting a promo, and she says that she doesn't need anyone to beat Bianca. And I gotta say, I'm loving this new version of Alexa. I say new, but it's kind of old because she has history with Bray Wyatt, but it's kind of like she's not the creepy Alexa. She's kind of a mix of, I wouldn't even say the goddess. You can tell she's kind of twisted, so let's just call this the Twisted Bliss, no pun intended. But I had loved the promo she cut. You could feel the creepy aura, creepy vibe that she was giving off, and I had loved the tone of her voice, and she looked good as well. So let's see where this goes at the Royal Rumble. I kind of want Alexa to win because Bianca has had the title for a long time, but I feel like they're kind of going to do something with Bray or Uncle Howdy that's going to cause Alexa to lose, and then they're going to start building up to that even more. But let's see where that goes. On to the next, we have Miz. The Miz comes out, and he gets upset because he says that he hasn't gotten any recognition, which I kind of agree with him because The Miz is one of the greatest of all time, and he has a lot of history on Monday Night Raw. But that is all cut short because Kevin Owens comes out and he hits a stunner on The Miz. Now, I also want to point out, I noticed that a lot of WWE superstars have been rocking the Briscoe's armbands, and I love that, man. Rest in peace to Jay Briscoe. But Kevin Owens, he stuns The Miz and he cuts a promo on Roman, saying that he'll do everything he can to beat Roman for the Universal title at the Royal Rumble. And then The Miz gets up, but he's met with another stunner, and Kevin Owens makes his way out to the ring. And that's that. Now all we can do is just wait for this Saturday. Well, we got SmackDown too, but let's wait for Saturday and see where this all goes. Personally, I don't think Roman's going to lose the title. I think it's going to happen at Mania, and whoever does beat Roman, they have to beat him for both of the titles. I'm not really feeling this whole Roman and KO storyline because Sami Zayn is the only one carrying it right now. He's carrying the whole show. I know his back is hurting from carrying the company right now. He's doing a phenomenal job. But that's all I want to say about that. And now we're going to get into the main event of the night as we have Austin Theory taking on Bobby Lashley in a no disqualification match for the United States Championship. So let me stop rambling on. We're just going to dive into it. Main event time as we have Austin Theory taking on Bobby Lashley once again for the United States Championship in a no disqualification match. Theory brings the table into the ring, but Lashley applies the hurt lock and Theory then escapes. Lashley then throws Theory into a chair, and as they make their way out to the ring, Lashley goes to grab Theory, but Theory sprays him down with a fire extinguisher. The match goes on, and Lashley eventually locks Austin Theory into the hurt lock once again, but Austin Theory counters it by low-blowing Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley eventually bounces back and slams Theory through a table. And then after that, what happens? Brock Lesnar returns. That's right, people. Brock Lesnar is back in WWE once again to continue his feud with Bobby Lashley. Brock Lesnar comes down to the ring and he wreaks havoc, as always, as he F5s Bobby Lashley, and then he F5s Austin Theory on top of Lashley, letting Theory get the 3 count and retain the United States Championship. Now, it's nice to see Brock back in the company, but I don't know where they're going to go with this feud because I know they're not going to have him win the United States Championship. There's a lot of speculation saying that they think he is going to go up against Theory to win the belt, but I don't know, man. This whole Lashley and Lesnar feud hasn't been living up to my expectations. I honestly thought it was going to build up to Mania, so I don't know what's next for Theory. Maybe they might have John Cena go up against him because I know they've been teasing it in 2K23, and a lot of people have been wanting to see that anyway. If they don't pull the ball with Logan, if Logan is better by then, because I know he wants to go up against Cena as well, I can see Theory versus Cena happening. But let's just put our trust into the company. Triple H is in charge, so we know he's not as bad as Vince is. Triple H is pretty good. But that's pretty much Monday Night Raw, man. That's pretty much the key highlights that I wanted to discuss. So, with all that, I'm going to get into my outro. All right, now I'm going to keep my intro nice and short, but before all that, I do want to thank everybody that made it out this far, man, because my fans mean the world to me. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. But as I always say, man, if there's anything out there that y'all ever want to do in life, man, go out there and do it, man, because we're not getting any younger. If there's nobody there to support you, I'm here to support you. I'm going to leave a pic of my Twitter up, so if y'all have any questions, man, don't hesitate to ask me, because I may not know the answer to everything, but I can lend my ears and share my opinion, because at the end of the day, we're all united by our love and our dreams and our love of professional wrestling, man. So with that said, y'all have a good one. Y'all be safe. JP out.